She's been pushed into a swimming pool at a party by some mean friends who did this to her. Elore, she had bought like a Gucci sweater that she wanted to sport at this event, and her friends knew that, and then they pushed her into a chlorine-filled swimming pool to ruin the coat, and the chick can't take it back the next day because all she was trying to do was floss with it. She's not merely scorned because she had to keep a 20,000 rands Gucci coat because it was ruined. No, a lot of times women are scorned because of men. That saying is about the wrath that is induced inside a woman by men. But in spite of that wrath being induced inside women by men, a scorned woman is not a ride or die woman to other women. My mother is a scorned woman. My sister is a scorned woman. She had a crazy husband that every so often would even tell her, don't touch me, you're out here evaporating me with your body heat. Madimabe is a scorned woman. Dimpencho za chicken go YouTube, especially one particular chick, scorned. Why? Ngoba amadoda baba nigeze. When I watch my content, sometimes there's like lipstick on my teeth. So sister out here be paranoid now, but it doesn't matter. Very soon you're not gonna be able to see my face. Anyway, whatever. Scorned lady chica. Okay. Though she is scorned by men, and so therefore becomes somewhat beastly and monstrous towards men. The scriptures have it that from now on your desire will be for your husbands. So women will always desire men even when they're nice and scorned at them. If a guy appears to be turning a leaf and would therefore do better by a woman, that's why bonkgono ba rata bashimane bana ba bashimane so. That's why bonkgono ba rata young men. It's because women just generally love men and the approval of men, because that is our judgment. After Eve fell, her judgment was that from now on your desire will be for your husband and Adam will rule you. So therefore, in spite of what men can do to women, if a man appears to be turning a leaf, or if a man promises a woman somewhat of the world, though she might tell herself, I'm calloused, I'm closed, I'm aloof, I'm cold, no man is gonna hurt me anymore. If a guy appears to be turning a leaf, she would soften herself because it's her judgment. It's our judgment. It's the way that we are. And it was a judgment on us because Eve was the first one to eat of the tree and then influence Adam. So God made it such that we would not catch a break when men are concerned. That's why our lives are so sucky as women. In the climate of Amatota that are very still with a patriarchal, men that are still very patriarchally heavy in like an old school sense, don't give women a break. They don't care for our intelligence. They don't care for our, basically what we want, what we care for. I highlighted these issues in my other content. We're not dealing with that right now. We're not talking about that. Listen, there's always so very much to unpack, unravel. So we're not going to labor. Go listen to all my other stuff to help understand why women act like this. I even used the story, or the, sorry, I even used the experiment Yaka Pavlov, classical conditioning with Pavlov's dogs to help you understand what in the world is going on with women that are out here be helping and serving men in spite of having been so insipidly harassed by them. And who it is that they tend to take it out on is who? Other women. Other women are the victims of women's scorn. Though men, the ones that did scorn women, might be at the receiving end of a woman's wrath and perhaps maybe other future boyfriends. Like remember Monster with Charlize Theron. Women can't take it out on a chunk of men and pass them shade. But that does not necessarily mean that this woman will then, as a result of being scorned by men, now have a softer outlook towards women, because listen, they're all I got left. All I have now are women. I can't stand men. I'm like Medusa. My hair is snakes. My hair is made up of little serpents. And when men look into my eyes, they get turned into stone because you broke me. Not every woman like Maleficent and Angelina Jolie in that fairy tale depiction, is a Disney or what? Yeah, Maleficent, out here mad at a boy. So she be wreaking everybody's out. Indeed, you see it. You see it with Angelina Jolie. You see it with in Maleficent. You know the movie Maleficent with Angelina Jolie. The woman gets scorned by a man, and who does she take it out on? A chick. She takes it out on a chick. She's mad at the dude. But the object of her wrath, largely subject, tends to be some other woman that is fairer, politer, yet to endure the same kind of incendiary mistreatment that she endured, and she looks at her like she's Sandra Dee. Women they pick a bone with women like those. Look at me, I'm Sandra Dee, bursting with virginity. I'm going to make till I'm lovely wet. Look at me, I'm Sandra Dee. And women look at Sandra Dee like, goodbye to Sandra Dee. So there's nothing more afflicting and annoying to a scorned woman than a bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, bouncy, singy, dancey, Fräulein Maria type chick. A scorned woman cannot stand a woman that is yet to be scorned. Or a scorned woman cannot stand a woman that still has hope, life, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, at MTN. At MTN, I had this colleague that, she was married to like a little bit of a scorn bombster, right? And so she'd been calloused. Very beautiful woman that when you first meet her, you would expect a certain thing to come out since she was so beautiful. She was scorned and so frankly hard to consume. This chick, she could speak nothing good about men. 4 or 5. Yeah, she was like, men, just you wait. And I remember saying, because I was a newly saved woman with hopes and bright-eyedness and bushy-tailedness pertaining men. I was like, they're not all bad. Just you see. It's not all nasty. I was yet to be as reviled and defiled and harassed as I now today am. Yeah. So I was the bright-eyed and bushy-tailed lady. And the way this woman would literally, frankly, near on like growl at me when I would say they're not all like that. It's not all that bad. She was like, you will see. You're naive. You're still a child. Listen, this chick is only like a good 3 years older than me. And yet she'd be looking at me like I'm still a child because she had been endured having married at a very early age. She had endured a crazy husband. And so she was scorned. And she could do no other thing but take it out on me. And she could not stand my company even though she liked me as a friend. She could never invite me out there in the wilderness for me to hang out with her because fresh would light her on my feet. But she used to hang out with other married women that struggled with their husbands. And I would sometimes feel hurt when I would hear that, on the weekend we went to this place, we went to do lunch, we had drinks, we had lunch at each other's houses. And I was like, why didn't you invite me? I thought we were all friends. Yeah, I wasn't invited because I was not scorned like them. I was not dealing with crazy husbands like them. I was not dealing with the kind of man that you take him to a braai and you have to leave early because he's a party pooper. I was not dealing with, frankly, just feeling regret after marrying a person because you uyabonisa manje ama true colors, ama flames, milo, emenye etukang. So you just hang, you sit, like you're chilling, man, like a homie, like a 10. You hanging 10. Kodwa, you're always thinking about an ex, about how it is that this ex was so much better than husband. They like to be able to chat with each other and relate. They like to be able to say, Grandshap, I feel like I should have married my ex. Grandshap, this guy also. Umudi. Hey, you won't believe what he did. They like to exchange notes. I would know when I was a kid growing up. Exchange. One society nanga my sister, the other society nanga chenchi san. Yeah, she would take us to the society that's our side, the hangouts about chicken. Yo, how got saber? I'm like, how old? It's a child. Like, I have memory. Listen, I'm clever. Like Erica Badu. Okay, I'm clever. So I remember things when I was really in my very formative years. And I remember conversations being had. I could have been like maybe like 6, 7, 8. And I would just sit there as a child, largely ignored. Every so often go outside, play with other kids. But mostly I would end up just sleeping because it was just a boring meeting amidst older women. Mara. The thing that was just like the main bustling topic of their conversation was smack talk about their husbands if they were married. Or their boyfriends if they were dating. But frankly, just men, or their baby daddies if they were struggling with maintenance. In their throats about the irresponsible behavior of men. And then of course they used to gossip each other. They would gossip if there was one woman that was not there. Hey, wait till Lerato. No, about this and that. So they were insincere. And I remember thinking in my mind as a child, but anyway, I didn't say that to her. When one was not there, and largely women love to be able to relate. They can't stand a Sandra indeed, but like a Shantae Moore. You know Shantae Moore in that caucus of women in that music video, yeah, Shantae's got a man. She's like, I'm sorry that your man is playing games. No, that's not the truth, girl. Cause I got proof, girl. I got a man at home, he's waiting on me. Shantae's got a man at home, I got a man. Yeah, you know how Shantae Moore is. I just talking to all the girls about how it is that not all men are dogs. That there is an ideal situation. It's not a reality. It's ideal, but it's not realistic. It is ideal, though it is not realistic, because when women get together and there is one among them that's got a man at home, she got a man. I can't help it that your man is just, he's cheating on you, flirting with them. Yeah, no, they're gonna be out on some Shante or Sebiwa, society next week. Litenge hato memoir. Or the other meetings, Otoba heartbroken when she finds out that they had a caucus, a gathering, and didn't invite her. Kunjalo, I endured that. I used to have older friends at MTN. Because I guess I was young in my profession. They were older than me. They were in their 30s while I was in my 20s. And they would just literally leave me out of stuff. They would leave me out of stuff, and I used to get hurt until I just let go. Listen, I let go. I knew when I was not wanted, so I just let myself go. I let it go. I nicely let go. I let loose, and I was like, Mamela, gunzimala emka koweni. Just let go. I finally let go. It never got old, but I did let go. I ultimately hung out with just this one Indian chick. But all the other chicks in the building, like the black chicks that I used to be tight with from the very beginning, they looked at me like I was gonna be like, your man is playing games. No, that's not the truth, girl. And they were like, I don't come at us with your bright-eyed and bushy-tailed disposition. We're not engaged for a couple of years now, and frankly, so the way it hurt. I'm not gonna say that I was unfeeling and calloused and essentially insensitive to the fact that I was being insensitively treated. I was hurt. However, I let go. You know, when there's no when to stop, you know how to detach. Yeah, so I detached. Though it did hurt, it did sting. Women take out rafiabona at men on other women, and they cannot let women in their inner circle unless they're also marred, unless they've also got soot on their nose and on their cheek, unless they've also got tattered jeans, tattered shirts, unless they have got bras that have got a hole in it. Unless Natty we are like a penny with a hole in it. They say I'm hopeless, I'm a bottom today, as a penny with a hole in it, penny with a hole in it, yeah. And they say I'm no less, that up to my head with it, yeah, unless you be a penny with a hole in it, honey, you don't belong here. Everybody is a penny with a hole in it. Penny with a hole in it, yeah. Why would the government not take in a penny with a hole in it? I feel like you can take a penny with a hole in it to the bank, and they would go and just put it inside the thing that makes coins and just make a new one. You should be able to take it to a bank and get value for it. If there is a hole in a 5 Rand coin, I would like to imagine that the South African Reserve Bank would take it, melt it, and remake another 5 Rand coin. So it's not really hopeless. But hey, they say I'm hopeless, as a penny with a hole in it, penny with a hole in it, yeah. Unless everybody be out to making like a penny with a hole in it, my man, like they don't hang out in this scheme of girlfriends. We all gotta be nice and hopeless. Married to crazy boys with crazy toys. We have got to be married to we are rasiwa, we are borwa, we are kenyala, he's satani all the day long, and I'm not gonna hang out with you unless you know that, girl, unless you get it, unless everybody gets that everybody here gotta be a half-torn 10 Rand note. And women, I'm sorry, mamela, I don't know saying if at all they've been on the receiving end of mistreatment by a crew of friends that can't relate. The person that you tend to leave out on the limb is the one that is bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, light on her feet, happy, boyfriend. Yeah, that's the one in Ngamfuni, that's the one in Ngamemi, that is the one in Ngandabanaye, ngoba nifuna ukuthi nonke money walk around in these streets ngama-penta dabukile, ngama-penti anembobo, ngama-penny with a hole in it, penny with a hole in it, yeah. Unless you be walking around all up in these streets, kapara, enangimbobo mokana, the way nje fela sa aparang. See, out of Blomalien. Everybody gotta be out, you're tattered. But you see, I serve a God that is in the business of restoration. And if at all you give your life to him, he will not let you walk around or be a penny with a hole in it, penny with a hole in it, yeah. God is not gonna let you be a penny with a hole in it if you give your life to him. If at all the Lord is the God of restoration, he will raise up an individual all in right to always sing penny with a hole in it, yeah. But you're not gonna like her. Y'all don't like God's servants because we are restored. We are recovered. We are healed. We are individuals that basically dodge bullets. We bounce back. We got that. We're like happy feet, like them penguins. Tap dancing all the day long because we give the gospel news. We are lovers and not fighters. Not only that, maybe we are fighters too, but like largely we're trying to love you in so fighting you. Peace through conquest. Peace through strength. We try, even if in ourselves we have been hurt, to essentially be like activists against the pain, as opposed to misery-loving company, misery-adoring company. That is not a godly principle. And as God's servants, in ourselves, when we've been miserated, we heal until we become a healing to others. However, sometimes God ascertains that we never get to a point of devastation, that we might be a comfort to others that if you give your life to God, he will prevent certain destruction from coming into your life. And if at all you don't like people with that kind of testimony, if you don't like individuals that are shiny, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, happy-go-lucky, lovely ladies, if you don't like these people, you are preventing yourself from getting healing. So you are hardly ever going to find a servant of the living God. Do you understand? That doesn't have a bounce in their step. You're not going to find a servant of the living God that's not like Sandra D, bursting with virginity, won't go to bed till she's lawfully wedded, and so she annoys you. Yeah, you're not going to find a daughter of God or a son of God that's not going to give you a message of hope and restoration to your calloused pain. Due to the fact that we are servants of healing, we are servants of life, we are servants of restoration, we are Florence Nightingale, we be out patching people's wounds back up, we dress people's wounds and we patch them back together again. We put a cast on a broken bone. We are general practitioners in our office as servants, seeing as we belong to the heavenly physician. We come with healing, yo. What's good? The Son of Righteousness will come with healing in his wings. That saith the Lord in the book of Malachi through Malachi. God is a healer, and so he makes his servants healers. The message on our tongue, therefore, will be full of hope, and it'll be sparkly, shiny. Do you understand? Like Sprite. Amen. It'll be sparkly, shiny like an effervescent drink. It'll be sparkly, shiny like Coca-Cola. And so because it'll be, well, Coca-Cola's not really shiny, but like appetizer, it'll be sparkly, shiny like appetizer. And if at all you don't want a sparkly, shiny message because you want to maintain your dinge and your darkness, you want to swing on a chandelier, like Sia. You want everybody to be mired and angry. Toneze, a servant of the living God. I was given HIV, but I've been healed by God in my heart, and now I'm happily married. Look, God gave me a husband in spite of my HIV status. You want us to rock up with a testimony like, I was given 4 STDs, but I'm a mother of 4. You want us to rock up, and you don't want testimonies of people that successfully avoided that which you fell into. And it's impossible to trudge through the kingdom of God and make your own pick as to what is the fit for purpose disciple of the Lord God Almighty to help you heal from the pain that you are now enduring. You can't choose who you imagine is the right individual to evangelize you. Baby mama. When I said baby mama. Hey, the Lord got me and my baby. Only on that day am I gonna have friends? What in the world? I avoided just being a mere baby mama. I avoided that, right? You don't get to choose, and that is the reason why disciples of the Lord Jesus Christ all throughout history have been so badly persecuted. We've been so badly harassed and so isolated. Our message is ignored because people never liked the phenotype. They never liked the outward appearance of the servant that God raised up. They never liked their life conditions. They never liked their circumstance, what it is that they presented as. Jesus himself was not seemly that anybody might look at him. They wanted him, if at all he was to be their Messiah, to essentially come from royalty and be like a king. They wanted Jesus Christ to be a member of the nobility or something, like an aristocrat, if we're going to speak in English terms. They wanted Christ to be an aristocrat, but he was away in a manger, no crib for his head. The little Lord Jesus lay down his sweet head. Jesus was actually born in a barn, yo. So that's not couth. That's not private hospital accommodation with your own room, Hey, that's not like gynae out here on call 24 hours a day. It's a manger, no crib for his head. The little Lord Jesus lay down his sweet head. That's not giving, but the wise men loved him in that barn. Amen. And Christ was also not born to a family of status. And that was problematic for the people. That was our Messiah. He was rejected precisely because for Messiah, you don't look like Messiah. But what's Messiah supposed to look like? He was prophesied to come, and his characteristics were described in the book of Isaiah and in so many, very many other Old Testament books, and you still rejected him in spite of you being told in advance what your Messiah would look like. Despite being let know in advance what your Messiah would be like, you still acted a nice, crazy fool. So, what are we going to do with you? And then, of course, like all the servants of God, the prophets, because now what are you going to tell me? Because of either their socioeconomic condition or what their lives were like, what they did or did not do, where they came from. They were rejected because now why would God choose you, Joseph? For his brothers, it was like, who do you think you are? We're never going to pay homage to you. Because jealousy contributed to the harassment of Joseph, and also just the belief that who are you? You're like the youngest among us. So what? No, David. Again, God does not choose as people chooses. Out of all the sons of Jesse, the prophet Samuel said, he's not among you. Do you have another child? Do you have another kid? And the dad was like out there in the tending to the sheep is my child David. Then David was the one that was anointed king of Israel for the future. The Lord does not choose as you choose. And indeed, in the fight, he had David and Goliath. The brothers of David were mocking him for being brave. But King Saul, seeing as he was brave, allowed David to essentially tackle Goliath head on. And David won that feat. He won it. Do you understand? So barely ever are you going to find any servants of the Lord Jesus Christ in history, and even in the Son of Man himself, that fit the model of what people imagined the individual sent to help them should look like. Barely do those people fit that mold. Another person is Gideon. For the reasons that, who are you? Like, the servants of the Lord Jesus Christ were always dealt with, who are you? Who do you think you are? Some other person would have been better received, but God chose this one. So you looking at me like someone else, not her. Why? First and foremost, because I'm feisty Kenya. I've yet to be marred like this. Women feel like they need to be able to more relate with me. Except, listen, how much more can you relate with me except for the things that I be out sharing about what you're going through? The only issue here is that I'm not a baby mama struggling with a deadbeat baby daddy. And I did not marry some dude that I'm not divorced from, and so I'm nice and I'm mad. I'm mad like a hatter. And I don't come from STD step for dealing. I'm not eating ARVs. I am at the age that I'm at, and I'm still patiently waiting on the Lord. The Lord has essentially preserved me. I am walking in evidence of what God does for a person when they hold on to him. I ought be there for an inspiration. But that's why I get millennials. I'm not going to get to you. I'm only going to get to Gen Zs, because Gen Zs and Gen Alpha and maybe even Beta, kids that will look up to me only because I'm so much older. So I'm like a mother figure. Therefore, they're not in competition with me. But people who are my peers, Mamela, Mona, will get in the way. And you end up killing servants of the living God that was sent to you because they don't fit the mold. You end up throwing Jeremiah and a sister, and you throw Joseph in a pit, and then you sell him as a slave. You persecute Christ and you crucify him. You do the most. Do you understand? You do the most. You try to kill Gideon until ultimately you don't, because he tore down your statues. Do you understand? You try to eviscerate the individuals that God raised up because they don't fit your mold, but your mold is entirely irrelevant because God will finish what work he has commenced with these people. Like it or not. You don't like me because I'm feisty? Why wouldn't I be? I wasn't always like this. I was made this way because you are insane. And I had to be this sharp in order to deal with the audiences that I am now dealing with. Because that's the point that I was trying to get at, and so speaking this message over here. Okay? While he got a message from YouTube, we're pulling out. I obviously told you guys that YouTube is pulling out. On my chest. Some of the women that work for YouTube, bang dudes, including Marimabe, for what reason? What is the reason? I meandered about that particular point. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. True story. To give them opportunity. Do you understand? You've all done strange things. Bushy-tailed. Okay? Nonke ni ravazonga madoda. And nonke ni na disease or something. Or ni fodile from my disease. Nonetheless, let's tell you, no so much the matter including semata sa legoa se letsere se go betse le lona le monkile ka mpandlane ya magoa e shinang la lo go ba le because the while di posta lona, it's the thing you're in. It's very licentious, okay? Nimthatile lo smata womlungu and lo smata womlungu. Basadi, I get it. Like I said, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. You're mad at men. But while you might take it out on men, some men, when they soften up towards you, you accommodate them, you take them. I use the example, yeah, Pavlov's dogs, as to how you are salivating after their affection, even though there's no reward in it for you anymore. Look at how Marimabe is trying to marry to me. The guy is a child molester. I bet at this point you don't want him anymore. Anyway, I hope so. Like, I certainly hope so. Anyway, whatever. What is this? You serve the men in spite of being mad at men, right? That's where your wrath is coming in. But who you take it out on are women. You take it out on women. You take it out on abokel that frankly have not been tarred and marred and mired by what under heaven it is that you are. Look at my mom. She's a woman whose fury hell hath no, for she is scorned. And she is scorned by men. My dad being the first. Nah, my dad was not the first one. But my dad being among the crazy men that did this to her, but look at what she's doing to her bright-eyed and bushy-tailed daughter. The daughter that was not decimated like this, the daughter that was not harassed, the daughter that was not castigated, the daughter that was not left out on a limb. Oh, busy, she's left. She has just thrown me away. Yet I am perfectly viable and I can wanna high. They take it out on women. My mother's mistreatment of my person at this height came when I became a woman and not so much a girl anymore. When I became an attractive woman, my mother became narcissistic where I am concerned, and she became competitive and she became resentful and hateful of Bontlebaka, because I was hopeful and godly when she had chosen darkness instead of God. When she had been squandered by crazy men and also chosen darkness to deal with them because she was scorned, as opposed to turn to God, that she might find healing. The hope in my eye, the sparkle in my eye, and so she went to war with me. She has not gone to similar war with my baby sister, because my baby sister is nice and pagan, she's still evil. My older sister too, she never went to war with her. None of them ever turned over to the light, to Jesus, to the way, the truth, and the life. I did. And she took it out on me. One coupled with the fact that her postpartum depression was always horrific against, in particular, me. And I gave you stories about how my mom used to treat me when I was growing up. So listen, it just rolled over. But when I was a child, she wasn't picking a controversy with me at that height. Now today, she's picking a controversy with me on the level not so much of postpartum depression towards a child, but beef with a woman. Now my mom is at rivalry with me. The way that other women are at rivalry with each other. For men, success, prosperity, clout. Whereas as a child, she was just negligent. Because that's not daba. Because she, like I said, postpartum depression and just bad parenting. Just in herself. And that's not so much mara. Life is harder than what it ought been. So, negligence. As Mossad. Now, yo, dog, I can't catch a break. Amy Carmichael took in this one child by the name of Prina. Prina was given into temple prostitution by Mewateng that was widowed. Prina ran back to her mother because she wanted to get out of temple prostitution. The mother gave her back to the temple women that were grooming her to be a temple prostitute. Ultimately, Prina ran into the bushes looking for Amy Carmichael, and Amy Carmichael took her in. Wakula, waba umfazi, waba umama, waba umuntu obonakalay. If it was not for Amy Carmichael, Prina was done for. So God will always put a little bit of an Amy Carmichael in an environment. Do you understand? Where it is that umama will throw umntana corner to temple prostitution. My mom has done the tantamount of what Prina's mom did to her. Latla to temple prostitution. When I run back to her, wangi wisala back to temple prostitution. So manje minang balekela bani. As a servant of God, anyone wamudim. Mosadi is not supposed to be squandered by a band that molestang fail, and ultimately he's not rescuer. And my mom is gonna lose me just as Prina's mom lost her. Do you understand? Like my man, mothers sometimes get to a point where are commodities, and I've become that thing to my own mom. It's unfortunate, but you know, it is what it is. We can't be out crying over some spilt milk, you know. Anyway, just because your mother throws you to temple prostitution doesn't mean that God has. And the Lord will always raise up an Amy Carmichael. So basadi, they take out anger yabo nako basading babang. They take it out on women even though they're mad at men. Alright? Prina's mom did that because she was widowed, and everybody treated widows in India like they were responsible for the deaths of their husbands, and so they had to give a child as a sacrifice, and that's how Prina ended up in the temple and then being groomed to be a prostitute there. And Prina found refuge in Amy Carmichael. Okay, very well. We listen to people's biographies over here. Alright, lovely women and men of history. You gotta love the saints of God. Another one, Mary Slessor. Out to be taking twins that were nearly killed in Africa. Go Nigeria. Was it Nigeria? I stand corrected. Some African country. My twins, because by evil. Amy, not Amy, but Mary Slessor. Oba Pulusito, Oba Rescuile, Aba Hudisa. She ended up just staying there for the rest of her days. She lived essentially to an old age in Africa because she was the mama of kids that were just abandoned. In one of my other videos, I did essentially a whole take on the father to the fatherless. He will put you in a house that makes sense. He will make sure that as twins you don't pass away, because barbaric tribes that are very backward and very superstitious are to be killing babies because apparently one twin is evil, and since you don't know which one is evil, you be out to killing them both. God will raise up a Mary Slessor. God will raise up an Amy Carmichael if at all the child is just thrown to the dogs. Okay, anyway, anyhow, let us continue over there. I got me a Mary Slessor in Jesus, and I got me an Amy Carmichael in Jesus. Like, listen, somebody's coming for me. It's gonna happen. 41. I'm gonna get an Amy. I'm gonna get people that are finally gonna take up my cause. There are people that would utterly frown at this activity. Indaba yokuthi umuntu ulahlelwe nje kwamela yolala nendoda. Ke mozalwane mothona, she's a born again Christian. Hadi again. Mara ke aheshwa ke banna ba re khetha omthandayo among us. Bayagula abanye bafuna ukunikeza ama disease abo ngamadoda nje abolile, and there are women that are like the temple women that in themselves grew up in temple prostitution and now are grooming little girls to be temple prostitutes. Bafuna ukuthi nami ngibe groomed as little Prina to be a temple prostitute. Dalang balega, and ukbarega kwam, I will keep on balegating like this until finally I'm taken up by Amy Carmichael. The providence of God will make sure that I find myself in the hands of the right people. There are individuals that will be utterly appalled by what is being done to me. Appalled. And yet there are individuals that also think that what is happening to me is a necessary evil. Sonke siyenzile lento lena karabo. Kaofela tshwanetse re lo kgosha. Yo, yazin. Ambani zenjandeni and temple prostitutes do you. Listen, do you. Anyway, anywho, like I said, women that are nice and scorned, they take it out on other women. They take it out on women and not so much on men. They might be mad at men, but their victims, their lash out is on fellow females. So basadi wako YouTube, one of whom is Madimabi. They're picking a controversy with me for reasons I've just highlighted above. I'm Sandra D. I'm bursting with virginity. Won't go to bed till I'm lawfully wed. It's me. Oh, goodbye to Sandra D. They say. Baboke. Bohopubaka. Una 41. Who do you think you are? Umdala mangaga. Umholo. Sis. Who do you think you are? Una 41. You're not getting out of this already. They're saying, Wuti, you're too old to have standards. And yet they're not even giving me a chance to stand out there in the wilderness of earthlings and so present myself as a 41-year-old woman and see if there's not going to be a God-fearing, respectable, decent man that's going to take me up, marry me, make out of me an honest woman. They've written me off, saying that the world won't like me, but they won't even let me be presented before the world because bayazi. I'm a whole entire thriving, valuable, worthwhile woman, worthy of pursuit. And because bang ponakile the way bang get threatened in this closed, incubated environment, saying to me, "Oh, nale 41." I would understand if they were speaking the smack to me. I was in the center of some bustling city square, encircled by individuals that are privy to who I am, that all are just passing me up. No, I'm not in a bustling city square. I've been incubated like a baby in an incubator, in a hospital, in a room that is isolated from everyone else. And so if I don't get adopted, there's nobody here to see me as a cutesy little baby that needs adoption. I am a God-fearing woman. I am beautiful, I would like to imagine. And I am a litany of other things like character, whatever, personality. Gabina, I'm lovable. Of course, you're gonna hide me in a ditch and then say to me, "You're 41. Who's gonna love you? Mdala, your standards are too high." Test it. Test your notion. Test your thesis. And put me, like I said, on a bustling city square where people are presented with all my stats and see if there's not going to be a willing, doting, God-fearing man that's going to throw away everything just to take me, scoop me, and put me in his house, him telling him gaga, and not bear grudges. Within the 41 with a geriatric womb. The world is not crazy. You are. It's literally all that very basic. But anyway, herein lies these temple prostitutes looking at me, saying of me, "Sis, o satan rabishilwena, and otlobona, o baby mama, ambi onikeza insha, engenenge, umntwana, kaze ngicanga ukuthi fertile." I'm insecure about that. The way ling patla ke na le ngwana ka teng, le confident to get fertile. Is it because I look so young on the outside? Listen, I'm all insecure about my fertility, but y'all be having hopes about it. Maybe it's because you be looking into your little glasses in the occult. Dishabadi di mpepha zalona, misi, kelebon. I'm as healthy and fertile as a 22-year-old. I'm like fertile Bertle. I see you. Lindy bugile kari paraphernalia tsalona marakenal tabalelona. The way ling patlankena le ngwana ka teng, I don't know why lesa ipotso hore anare ke ka balbana na. Still, ke na le 41 ga kana. Am I not perimenopausal or premenopausal, whatever? Am I not njefela with the ship sailing out here in these streets? A mammoth threat for pregnancy. The way le batlang mo handla ka ngwana ka teng, why le na le trust le khotso ga kana in your spirits peace. Ore hanga goba le monna nka fola pregnant. Why do you believe I could fall pregnant? Because I have insecurities about that. Do you have paraphernalia? Are you looking into a looking glass? Answer me. Anyway, whatever. I cannot have a lona. Don't answer me. I don't want to know what relation di khalase tse feng ko hara occult ya lona. I don't want to know. I just don't want to know di pili tsa lona tse bonang hore batho ba fertile or not. I batlo se. So I changed my mind. Anyway, cool beans and bananas. Women tend to be angry at Amadoda. Do you understand? Yet, in spite of all that scorn, they take it out on Abafazi. And how conniving women are. How conniving women can be. Yes, like it, but if Umfazi wants to pull a rug under a lady foot, she gonna pull a rug under a lady foot. Over these past years, my scorned sister, older, and my scorned mother have sabotaged almost every project where they had access to an individual that could give me an opportunity if it was within their prerogative to do so. My mom has tried to act in gati she's trying to hook me up with a job by deliberately telling people that she is talking to about me that I am unskilled. Give me a shot as an administrator, something small, where before I lost everything and before I came to Christ, she would say, give her a shot as a project manager, she's really intelligent. Now, she's telling people to be hiring me as like an administrator to push paper. She was trying to keep me low income. Dog. She once made a recommendation of that nature to some lady in her organization. Once I came in and worked briefly with that woman, she let me go. She did not respond to me after a week of working with me because I was super skilled and I was intimidating to her. Some marketing manager, some CMO lady, she literally stopped talking with me because she realized I was not just some entry-level person that was learning the ropes. I was a skilled professional. And in Kimotosa. So waba root, she just dropped me without even letting me know. She just dropped me because this woman is on my level. She's gonna speak with my same level of eloquence. She's gonna take over my meetings and her mind is going to engulf me whole like she is an amoeba eating something. I'm too competitive. I am food. People have done that with me before. I've been sabotaged at that height. My sister, there was a time when she was working for Vodacom. I come from telecommunications and she was an executive over there. MTN, they would have scooped me easily. Wahala. She just refused. I had a cousin that thoroughly interviewed me. That experience crashed up in my old ministry. I shared it. A cousin that rocked up mojarateng are obatlang tus. Abatlang gets an assistant ya high. Personal, an assistant pushang pampiri administrator at a very entry level. I was like, fine, whatever, because my mom forced me to go for that interview. Yeah. But I was interviewed by her staff. Her staff was like, yo, Lomfaz Lona is way too qualified, like we can't. Just from the interview alone. And they recommended to her, rather hire her in this capacity since you're trying to help your family member along. Rather hire her in this capacity because in this particular apartment, babata these kinds of skills. Babata this. And this woman is more aligned with it. Because that there was more up my alley for a job. When they recommended based on my skill set. Unambata gili paper pusher, administrator yaka, gili PA yaka kense gimu bukila di freaking pocket. Gimo orla di digestive biscuit. She wanted me in that capacity. And when her staff members interviewed me, they were just aghast at my skills and recommended me for another job. And therefore what too? Like she literally ghosted me. She went AWOL. I have been ghosted by so many people because of women. The cousin that I'm talking about, Kim Sai, scorned. Wreaked havoc in her life. Into nothing. These women are mad at men, but they take it out on women. Bright-eyed and pushy-tailed varona as society that have yet to be destroyed. To a point where Lomundlona Angati ole a whole entire marketing manager type skills level. Abare, what you are is a receptionist type girl. Alora, I can hook you up with a job. Una le CV egana edek eyang to the heavens. It's an encyclopedia, your CV. Abare kupalelo hira motona as a girl Friday. People, there was a time when my mother thoroughly said to me, I get to go why una lady opening go Woolworths. She thoroughly said to me, there are openings at Woolies. I don't know why you don't go and apply. And no, not at Woolies business. Woolies retail. As in, some of menadi. Can I help you with something, ma'am? You are trying to make your very skilled professional daughter that is highly educated a teller at Woolies. What are you doing? In yourself, you're an executive. Omunye, she was an executive at Vodacom. One of your own. Have you no pride in your family name? Ofundile naye megane career engathi yabonakala. Bese niyomenza ukuthi ayosebenza eWoolies. Anza mina dihempe. Hana mototlo tsebang on that day ake mina dihempe ko Woolies. O ke tlalifile kakang. Because all I say is yes sir, no ma'am. The price for that is 299.35. Women, they reduce you to that. My sister, Chiki at YouTube, one time did a spell where now will never ever shop for groceries at Woolies. Because one of the videos I was sharing about how it is that one of my favorite seed bars, one of my favorite snacks is a seed bar from Woolworths, and I can't eat that anymore. And that I used to love the chocolate cake like a Woolies. Back in the day, I could shop over there when I was basically reminiscing about my past and sharing my sorrows and what I've endured. And that chick literally went and did a spell to say that you will never ever shop at Woolies again. Unless you settle for what it is that I'm saying that you must do. And lo and behold, have I gone to Woolies ever since? No, I haven't. Not that witchcraft works on me. But what I'm trying to help you understand is that women come at women with below the belt attacks of that nature. Below the belt attacks of that nature. Umfazi ngeke, you will never shop at Woolies again unless you become a whore. I'm your khosha. Then only are you going to be able to buy amakroza wako at Woolworths again. You will taste amaseed buzz wako again only. Then I have been harassed by Basadi Wankudra. They have tried to make me. There was another chick that I met that did a spell or I will only ever work either ki rekisa di popcorn ko steak keniko or kile waitress ko wimpy. I have had women. The chick on YouTube, she also did a spell to make me end up that's the thing that I was lamenting about in my shorts. Well, South Africa has got skills and yet they're being ignored because none of the Batshwanyang that are running the country into the ground, and all of them are occult practitioners, ritualists. And the sad and disquieting thing is that a whole chunk of them are linked to ANC. ANC of which is a political party in this country that ought have the socio-economic back of the country, just in totality, our economic health, and so therefore the skills of our professionals, they ought have our back. As South Africa presently, we have got a most mammoth issue with a skills exodus of skilled professionals in this country moving to the diaspora. And yeah, men, brother, stay home, please. We need your skills. And yet, look at me, I'm a skilled professional, and I am actively trying to go to the diaspora because it appears that is the only place where I can use my skills because jealous freaks in this country insist that I go fold shirts at Woolies as opposed to contribute to this economy in a capacity that is fit and proper for my skills. But women do stuff like that. Women will say, go on your knees, honey. Go on all fours, hey? And then on that day, you grinded, you burned the midnight oil, you pushed paper, you lost sleep, and abantu then sabotage all that. On your fours or on your knees. Give a man fellatio, then you'll see what's gonna happen for you. And the country is being run into a brothel. They are making South Africa a whole sex trafficking syndicate, as a nation. Like the whole country is thoroughly like a whole human trafficking syndicate, a proliferation of sex for women. The exploitation of abafazi. So ha ke re basadi ha ba kwatile mamela ba ka kwatela banna mara ba tlo entsha ba skotla sa teng gapha se tletseng ka hydrochloric acid mo ditshering ba tlo ntsha se skotla sa teng mo ditshering ba tlo nka mosadi that is frankly bordering on a PhD the way a ba dileng ka teng mara go bona gale mo pampiri ba mo be go hulwetsa a lo fola di hempe a lo botsa bo sele bo mem. Well, what can I do for you? Do they want to put that on their loyalty card or what? If ama discam rents wam or what? Yeah, wake. But when babata gong ravaza nkutwa. Babata hape lo gong persecutisa ka di colleagues tsa ka gona go discam ya teng because the moment ke bula molomo, when you are too skilled or too intelligent amidst a people that are lowly and entry, you're a sore thumb sticking out. So everywhere I go, I would just be persecuted. I would be persecuted in an environment where I'm working as an administrator. I'm persecuted. Or I'm more skilled than him. Everywhere. They are trying to put me in a position to essentially endure hardship for the rest of my days. That's why, you little idiots, I'm moving to the diaspora. You be giving me names, a sobriquets and epithets all the day long. You are giving me names. You are spiteful. And that's what women are like. They're full of spite when they're scorned by men. And that they're meandering, lingering, sort of kind of tailing around like a tree, tailing around a tree like a snake argument. That whole tailing around a tree like a snake argument to get to this particular point, yeah, is important. To help you understand ukuthi kwenzakaleni ngalo bhuti ngalo baba womlungu olala nama subordinates wakhe, the way abafazi ba conniving ngakhona lezi nja lezi yewe o zizokhoza uAhab lankutla ure alo nka vineyard ya Naboth kane, even though unatlo accommodator Naboth ha no. You know how Ahab went back to Jezebel all sallow-faced, all sorrow-faced, ali shrunken in his disposition. On some I want even Naboth. What Jezebel was like, what? You just gonna take that in your stride? Wahamba taking chicken while you bulala unapo. And then came back to Ahab and was like, here's your vineyard. You namby-pamby patsy you. What the heck? Indoto yomlungu itole instruction from YouTube America. Uti siya pumalan. What you do me? To me, understood uti kwa twenza lo tlogela go patala bo taking chicken all over the show. Abazalone about to get a future that saith to me in his mind. I had a vision of a man to himself on some Christians are about to get theirs, and I'm left out on a limb. I have persecuted them, my life is gonna suck going forward. I know, to me, I want to defer a surprise. Kimo, Mutlakasi ushwile. I told you, Mutlakasi would die. And as well, everything is looking nice and weird. Maslo anang ni kalangana different. I ke happy ka on the way so I'm changing these settings. Okay, this is like all I have. Let me see if I can get a little bit of light, like Mambo number 5. A little bit of Trina, yeah, because that's what men are. Oh, look at that, it's a little bit better. Like, it's completely pitch dark in here. Let me try and switch on like a light. How's that? A little bit of Trina by my side. Mambo number 5 is a most horrific song, so please do not emulate it. The other day, how's that? And then Onale, okay, that's a little bit of light. It's ultimately gonna switch off on me because it's like one of those that just keeps going. Like the power is on. It keeps going because the power is like on. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's ultimately gonna switch off. Like it's gonna go dimmer and dimmer and dimmer and dimmer and dimmer. And in terms of battery power, I'm already sitting on 99%. Okay, let me listen 1 second. Once again, I want to test something. I want to see if I can't charge this phone with my tablet because I really want to be able to maintain, because my tablet is like on 100% battery. Let me see. Okay, listen, I don't think this thing is charging. I'm sitting on 98%. Like, listen, my battery is gonna die at record speeds and it's just gonna fry me, but it's okay. It's fine. Anyway, let me try and get as much out as I possibly can. Ultimately, it's gonna get to a point where I'm now sitting on like 0% or whatever. There's some kind of thingy-mabobby here. Kifelet's guy, yes. Let me get the conversation out. Like, the more I talk, the better. The less I concern about battery, the better. It's still sitting on 98%. So, there's that light over there. Let me see if I can't switch on the light over here. Mara, this is the device that I'm going to need. It's sitting on 100%. It's the device that I'm going to need should I run out of battery power over here, but it's still sitting on 98%. I really hope that by the time the sun rises and anyway, whatever. So, Ulonduza, there's more light coming from that side. Let me switch the flash on at the back over there and put this here. So there's still like decentish lighting, decentish, like it's not too great, but like it will do. Like it's literally low-key kind of decentish. Anyway, so power went off, but Mamela, at some point that light over there is gonna die, and this phone I'm sitting on 97%. Like it's gonna elude me like a pantiti. But this here is my ride or die. I might be able to use this like just indefinitely, so we don't know. Betting Ishwa very slowly. So let's just talk for as long as we can on this device, and then once we run out of options on this device, we'll move on to other devices. Okay. Yeah, Kifelet's a guy. Yes, women. No, Basadi, Mamela. These here females, yo basadi kupa, let's having basadi. Be afraid, be very afraid. Do you understand? Women are insane, and when women want to decimate, destroy, absolutely eviscerate all that which you are, they will even go below the belt. They will go like as below the belt can go. I want as much light as I possibly can get. They will go below the belt, as below the belt can possibly go, even Gobanning. And this white guy Ona that has been sleeping with his subordinates. Mamela 98 or 97 or 9. Oh, listen, I'm on 95. Like the way that Betrie Ishwaga speak thing. I want to try to see if I can't just record Gahoto on a device whose battery just does not die that quickly. This one, but the sound quality is going to be interrupted. I need to know, how much space do I have here? Did I delete? You see, I have not been using this device in so long. I haven't been using it in like a minute, and so therefore like stuff is still in the gallery. I didn't delete. I didn't feel a need to, so now I have to go in the gallery to see. Oh, see, every video is still in here that I last recorded in. Anyway, whatever. Basadi, I don't know, Sham. Listen, I've got enough time to speak on this phone, even though it's already sitting on 95%. I only have like maybe 20 minutes on this device, so I'm not even gonna bother. I'm just gonna try and move over here. But women, when they're nice and below the belt, they will go to the men that are in power, that have a history of exploiting them, and they will say, "Kupa uskatlo lebala auti puti something puti mlungu." cause angisho lo umlungu ngicela nje but mlungu ungakhohlwi ukuthi winyongo kresha bephelela ngisho. So njengoma winyongo kabuhlungu kanje na, this here is a corporate and this here is South Africa, and I can just cry wolf and destroy your whole career. I can cry wolf and destroy your whole entire career, cause you've been out here wreaking havoc in our lives. You've been sleeping with us. We are your subordinates. We can just say you exploited us. So this chick, Karabo, she's blocked and you're not gonna make me get off her chest.